Hey, we are back at the shop club in Houston. Seems like I've been here like every time I drop a video, and there's a reason. Look at all these beautiful cars behind me. Well, this time we're not working on my car. We are working on a first edition Porsche 996. It's my buddy Lewis's. He has really loud exhaust, so you probably know who I'm talking about. And so we're gonna get this car in the shop and we're gonna fix his suspension. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, but I think he has some sway going on in the front. So that's usually an indicator that his drop links or his sway bar bushings are bad. So we're gonna look it over. He brought some new drop links because he's like that. He wants to make sure that he has the right parts to get this job done. But again, what a great freaking place to be to get this job done. I don't have to get on my back other than to get the arms underneath the car, and then we're up in the air and our project is almost done at that point, right? But let's take a quick walk around the shop and see what's new. So look who's back in my possession. Yeah, that's right. This is Olaf, my first project car, a 2007 Audi A4 I bought from a curbstone dealer here in Houston with a bad catalytic converter. Didn't know that, but this sent me on the path to start Yogi's Garage and start working on Porsches. 2-liter engine, really easy to source parts, really easy to work on. If you guys like turning wrenches and you're not sure how to get started on a bigger project, go with a 4-pot like this, an inline 4 with a turbo. You cannot go wrong. Get a better transmission. The transmission on this one is above average. It's not the CVT transmission, it's the Tiptronic. It's still slow, but all in all, this car is really held together. I can't wait to give you a tour, but I'm getting ready to prep it for sale. So that's gonna be a whole video in and of itself, where I'm gonna go over the things that I think that you should talk about and resolve before you put your car on the market, right? There's certain things that cars need to have, obviously, to pass inspection, but there are some creature comforts that need to be working on these cheaper, older cars. So I'm gonna be sure to talk to you about that in the future. All right, let's see what's going on with my buddy, man, because I'm running late. See, I told you you could hear him when he's coming. Hey, I wanted to pause this video for a second and answer a few questions that some of my viewers have been asking me. And some of them are, hey, what do you use to detail your car? Or, hey, what kind of tools do you use in your garage every day? Well, luckily Amazon has allowed me to build a storefront on their page. And I put the link down below in the description. And if you need cleaning supplies from like the chemical guys or tools from Tecton or Milwaukee, I've curated a bunch of those tools on that site, and everything you buy helps support the channel. So I really appreciate that, and it helps fund projects like this. Not by much, maybe a penny or two, but the more people that buy tools, because you need tools, if you buy them through my storefront, I get a little commission, and it helps me and Yogi Mama. And also, please like and subscribe to my videos. I don't ask a whole lot, but now I'm begging. All right, now back to the show. All right, so what we're looking at here is the drop link that's, I guess this might be the original drop link suspension, but the bushings are all shot. You can see that right here, right? So what you'll feel in your steering is a lot of play, maybe even some knocking sounds. It all depends on how bad it is, right? But really what you're gonna feel is a little bit more body roll, and especially if both of them, and this one too, is shot, look at that, all the way through. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this with some PB Blaster, loosen it up a little bit, and then we'll replace it, and that should be it. I think I'm gonna get this lift up a little bit higher. One more to go. All right. Okay, so I've already loosened it all up. These were just, I need to move that, there we go. These were just, this was a 18, I believe, and then a vice grip hold on this side. The newer ones have a place where you can put a open end wrench. And then the top was a 19, 18. So, and then now that I've got it supported, you can see this thing is just gonna come right out. And that's what you want, right? You wanna just support it enough so that guy up there doesn't move. It's just make your life easier. If you can't do it with a 2-post lift with a screw jack, then get your buddy Lewis to put his head under it and then just hold it right there. Okay, and it's always best to take it out on a workbench and compare it, right? Lewis and I ran into some issues with his Volvo and the CV axles not matching. So what we do now is we make sure everything lines up perfectly, right? But these drop links are pretty standard, but take a look at this, right? There's no more lube in there, keeping that ball joint in there from, keeping it lubricated to move. So in this case, this thing is nice and lubricated. This one's nice and lubricated. And like I said, they give you a flat spot here to actually use a counter hold to bolt it in, all right? So it's the same process, reverse it. This is top, this is bottom. I'll show you the torque specs once we get that far. All right, guys, pretty simple, right? This is about 40 Newton meters, and up there is about 50. I put a little extra ugga-dugga on these, but this is exactly the way it should go. With that screw jack in place, there was no movement up there at all, so I didn't have to worry about realigning that collar. But there you go, pretty simple project, and he's gonna see an incredible improvement on his overall driving experience. And looking over the rest of his car, everything else looks pretty good. So this was definitely the one culprit that needed to be looked at, and we did. We have a future project coming up for this car. Take a look at that up there. Yeah, that oil slick is from the AOS, the air oil separator, which is a common fail point on these cars. And when they fail, it can be catastrophic to your engine because you're gonna get intermix with coolant in your oil. So this is a high priority fix. With the lift, you don't necessarily need to drop the engine, but we will lower the engine a little bit to get better access to the top. But that's for a future video. And this is why you can hear him coming a mile away. What do you think is missing right there? What do you think, Lewis? What do you think is missing on your car back here, man? Nothing. Sounds exactly the way you need it to sound.
No mufflers?
No mufflers, no cats. Your valve covers are leaking a little bit right there. See? And more than likely, it's probably leaking from your spark plug tubes. So that's a pretty easy fix too. We'll circle back on that. So the way it works, you just take this heat shield off, and the spark plugs are down in there, and they're plastic tubes, and they need to be pulled out and replaced. All right, we are still working on this beautiful 99 early generation 996. And why I say it's beautiful is because these early generation 996 cars are, first of all, very mechanical. It's still a throttle by cable on the engine. I'm pointing at the front, but I should be pointing at the back. Throttle by cable, and instead of throttle by wire, which was introduced in with the 992 generation, right? When did they introduce the by wire? Like midway through?
No, 1999. The C4
Uh-huh.
is e-gas. It's not a drive-by-wire. So only the 1999 C2s are cable throttles.
Ah.
Now, the other stuff that is cable,
Yeah. The front and rear latches.
yeah,
That is awesome, and it smells really good in here. And the interior is just impeccable, man. Look at that center console. Any of the older ones, especially the silver ones or the light gray, they just did not age well. But something about these early gens, man, it's because they were being made in the same factory, I believe even with the same tools as the last of the 993 generation cars. So it had a little bit more of a TLC to it, less efficiency, more quality. But then, as you know, what happened at that time, they were running out of money and they needed a company to save them. And that was an Asian company to come in. I think it was even Toyota or somebody came in, right? And re-energized their entire manufacturing process and made them really efficient.
they did Toyota's just in time.
Ah, just in time. Okay. So what you're seeing in the 992s and even in the 2000s and 2001s is kind of a scale back on quality. Not here. This car is rock solid. Yeah, this isn't good. That right there came from Olaf just sitting here for 2 hours. There's nothing I can do other than push that flange back in. Seal on that flange is shot and it's leaking out. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do there.